They can hear us now, though, although the picture's up there. I think it's nice that they hear chatter. That way they know that, we're here. And we should be up in a few minutes. Hmm. So I'm putting it with the person too, and hopefully other group. Are you able to do multiple watch parties on different chat groups? Yes, I can hear you. I muted it for a second because somebody here was talking to me. I kicked him out of my vicinity for a moment. Wait, all right. I'm gonna say let's have a conversation. That's good. I can see it. I'm not. Oh, here. I'll put it on, um, so that you can see it on the stream. There. There you go. Hello, LA South Chamber is there. That and there's Dishane Khan. Hello. We should be up here in a couple minutes for everybody else to come on screen here. Well, Swing will will put us up on the screen, okay? So people, yes. And here I am.
Hey guys, thanks for just chilling with us. Get your tea because this is quarantine time. I'm just sharing, like starting a watch party with a couple of groups. So give me a second. I'll give you some time to get your favorite tea. Right now, I have my passion tea from Yoli, which is like a great um, replacement for coffee.
Feel like she's no this way. She's my sugar. I have ginger tea right now, and it's really good. It's healthy. We all need everything healthy right now. Shout out to everybody who's already here. Thank you guys for joining us. Please go ahead and type up your comments. We can entertain some questions and comments here. Let's have a nice conversation.
Yes, especially if you guys have any questions, I don't have all the answers in the world, but hopefully I can give a little insight to give you some ideas. And hopefully, whatever your question is, hopefully I do have the answer. But if I don't, that's going to be a teamwork.
Exactly. And this is meant for them. This is meant for the business owners there that is struggling to stay afloat in this really challenging times that we're having. It's crazy.
Yes,
Never
especially if you guys have any questions, I don't have all the answers in the world, but hopefully I
let me
can
shut mine
give a
down.
little
Sorry.
insight to give you some ideas. And hopefully, whatever your question. That's me, my bad. Okay. I figured it
So
out. It's because I started a watch party, so it popped up. I'm like, wait, just close it, close it. So let me. I want to have my Facebook up, just that video silence. There we go. Oh, pretty cool. This is cool. I like this. I haven't
right?
I haven't used this app before, so this is great.
Well, it was shared to me by a professional that's doing the interviews in Facebook Watch as well as their YouTubes and their website. So it looks very professional, and it's pretty easy to use.
Mhm.
Zoom kind of requires, I don't know if it's just for me, a little bit more knowledge on technical stuff, and I'm not so technical, so I'm just going for something very simple to use. And
Let me be the first to tell you. This is just as technical as Zoom.
okay.
Yeah, but no, this is great though because it just makes it easier to share it on Facebook because
Yeah.
then it's public. If they didn't know and people are like watching, like Dejanay's on there right now, and Dexter and Opa is there right now from the LA South Chamber, and so if they wanted to share it with their people, it's much easier that way.
Yeah, it is, and that's why I chose this platform so that it's easy, and then they can watch it again. I can share it back on your timeline or people's timeline after our show, and
Yeah,
they can continue to watch it. Because that's what I liked about this when I saw it first. So I asked the author of the interview and said, "What did you use?" Because it's so easy, and if I forget something or want to go back and refer back to the video, you can scroll back on a timeline where from the co-host or whoever, and you can see it again. So it's not lost forever per se. And
right.
it does also show on the feeds, and also on the videos. How sometimes when we click on one video and there's a feed of other videos coming out, and so
Yeah,
it's kind of nice because we want to be the good resource for them, and we want them to come back again and again for very meaningful conversations that can help them on their day-to-day activities, day-to-day business. And again, if they have a question and the broadcast already ended, we can still see them, and and come back to them that way. So it's kind of nice. That's
yeah, and this is great for people that are on here already. Then you were just getting a quick tutorial on how to use this platform.
Yes, this is called Be Live. It's something similar to Zoom. Zoom is great for meetings wherein you show a lot of people. But I think this one is more of a just an interview, or you want to be more of an educational platform where it's
Right.
not really everybody talking at the same time. We had Zoom with my 10-year-old, no 7-year-old. the other day, and it was fun because they got to see all his classmates, and it's fun watching them, just kind of get together after this
I know.
yeah.
There was a meme I saw on Instagram that said, my 8-year-old just told me that she has a Zoom conference. A lot of the kids are doing that nowadays.
Yeah.
So when do you want to start? How do you want to start?
Yeah, it's 408.
Today?
So let me just do a quick introduction. Friends, this is my really good friend Kababayan. We came from the same city in the Philippines. It's called Bacolod City. It's a quaint little town. It's not a quaint little town now, right? It's very popular, but we speak the same language. And then I think we have the same passion for life and giving great information and giving value to people. And so we come together. We are members of South Bay Chamber of Commerce of Los Angeles area. Sweeney was one of our VPs of Ways and Means last year. She decided to not do it this year because of a lot of responsibilities, and she had to go on her birthday tour. So maybe next year we'll have her back on our board. But she's a very valuable member of our chamber, very helpful. She's our partner because she is right now the what is that for the South Bay Pavilion Mall, which is the best mall in Carson. She's a marketing director. Yay!
That's how I always introduce until they build the other mall. I'm still gonna say it
It's
because
still
the other
not built yet, and it's still gonna be the South Bay's best mall, right? So
right because the other one is an outlet mall, so they can say they're the best outlet mall.
yeah,
But whatever.
she's also have done a lot of work for from the chamber, and we thank her for that. And even without her on the position, she's still helping us out. So thank you so much, Sweeney. And I think this is one way for us to give back to our business community, because even in these tough times we need to share, we still need to continue our work because we have a responsibility. And I believe that this is the time or being tested. Are we resilient? Can we thrive? What are the resources out there to help us, keep afloat and just wait this time, because this too will pass. I really believe it will. And we just have to go through it, look at the silver lining and learn from it. So when it happens again, which it'll probably do, probably in a different shape or form, a different virus, different strain. But once it happens again, we come a little bit more prepared each time, because this is an ever changing world. And again, this has happened in the past, but it's just different forms. And so everybody always comes up to be something stronger and more knowledgeable than we started. So Sweeney, thank you so much for being here. The floor is
Yeah.
yours.
Thank you. Thank you. I know a couple of people had asked me, can we do a Zoom meeting about marketing and etc. So I'm glad that you're doing this because sometimes it's easier when it's a dialogue instead of just me talking for the entire hour. And then welcome you guys that are here. If you guys leave a quick note on the chat window, then we can see and know that you're here. So Dexter, I just want to give a shout out to the LA South Chamber of Commerce that is led by Dexter and Opa, and they're both online watching. If you guys want to share, you can actually. I believe I tagged you, or it's on my page, and you will be able to share it or start a live watch party. If you guys want to share it with your members, and then or Dejane, if you want to share it with your friends who also own businesses, we just want to talk about different ideas that we can do right now in this time. Just like Janice said, I always call her Janice. Just like Janice said that you can hear me, right? Still
No, go ahead.
okay. So sorry, because I was trying to mute like the notifications, but anyway. Um, we can this is there's a silver lining in this, right? Even for myself, I realize there's a lot of things that I put in the back burner that I can work on right now because I am at home. I do have a little bit more free time. I've had to cancel all of our events at South Bay Pavilion. The entire mall is closed, besides the essentials, which is Target. Big Five is considered an essential, and Harbor Freight. And then we have all the restaurants that are open for pickup and delivery. So besides those,
Mm-hmm.
the interior mall is closed. So even the restaurants inside the mall had to close.
You
So
have
it
to
gives
come
me,
into work still, Sweeney?
huh?
You still have to come into work?
I mean, we don't have to come into work, but just between you and everyone else watching, we do have to justify our jobs these days, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I have to show some type of work. But even in these times, there's a lot that we could do, because the restaurants are open. We do have to advertise them because if people don't know that they're open, then these restaurants are going to really suffer. They already are. So it helps that we're there always marketing, posting on social media, doing stories, printing signs to post on the busy streets to make sure that people see that we are open. Visiting them every time I'm on property, which I try to go twice a week. I try to limit the time that I go out there if I don't have to, but to be able to talk to them and make sure, how's their business going, what help do they need, what are they selling, what are their hours, because those information that I share then is very helpful for our customers. So as far as work, there's a lot of work that I can do at home.
I
So,
know. I'm sure the kids miss Chuck E. Cheese.
oh, they're open for pizza. I think
Oh, well, the thing is they can't go in and play, right?
exactly. No, I think for now, what the kids really probably are missing out is the Easter experience, right? We usually have Easter bunny, Easter party, Easter egg hunts. We can't do that right now. So, but places like Target, they're open, and you can, get your Easter basket still and give your kids that experience at home. So,
That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. What,
yeah.
what about the farmers market? They're indefinitely closed until.
Yeah, so this one, a lot of people are confused. For our farmers market, uh, they use the restroom inside the mall, but because the mall is closed, they can't use the restroom.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they had to close. Now, the people that are managing it, they're fairly small, so it's not within their budget to rent porta potties. Now, I called around because I was gonna, sponsor it, but all these porta potties are out of hand washing stations. So we're out of luck. Like we can't do anything. So we have to remain closed until we can find some hand washing stations.
Oh, wow. What are the other
Yeah.
things that the South Bay Pavilion is doing nowadays for, aside from the restaurants that are still,
Yeah.
open for maybe takeout and deliveries? Is there anything else that's in store right now for them, or we're
Yes.
waiting still?
Yeah. So great question, because I hope that some of these ideas will give you guys ideas of what you can do for your business if you have a storefront or even an online store or anything like that. So some of the things we're doing obviously is to promote the restaurants that are open, making sure that we go in there and actually like do live, not live stories, but like Instagram stories, just reminding people, because one of the principles of marketing is out of sight, out of mind. If people don't see it, people will forget about it and not even think about it. There's so many options out there. There's so many restaurants out there that are open. How can we be in people's top of mind when they're hungry, right? So that means even though it may feel repetitive to me, like I just post norms 2 days ago, I'm gonna post them again today, because the reality is not everyone is going to see your posts. So some people are
Really,
coming.
I forgot that Norms is there. I forgot. Yeah,
So even you yourself, you've been busy online and you haven't seen it. So
I haven't.
yeah, so that just proves to you guys that unless you're spending a lot of money in advertising your post, not everyone's going to see it. So if it's okay if you're going to repeat it, if you're going to repeat the same post you did yesterday, do it in a different time, because
Correct.
different people are on social media at different times. So that's just a reminder for you. Don't feel like you're being too repetitive. Just think that not everyone's going to see your post, and no one's going to say, oh my God, you're bugging me, you said this yesterday. No one's going to say that at all. So don't be afraid to repost, to remind people every now and again, every day if you want to, that you're open for business, that they can still purchase things online. Your store is closed, but your online store is open 24/7. So you don't have, and the thing about Facebook is they have all these different algorithms. And I read a couple of articles that there is an algorithm out there that Facebook is playing with, that they are filtering negative posts. So if you're using negative words, I'm really sad that we're closed. This is not fair. Like if you're using those type of words in your post, they're not going to show it to as many people. So you do have to be positive. You do have to sound, high in spirits, because
Mhm.
if you sound negative, unfortunately, it could be flagged and not shown to as many people. So instead of saying, I'm sad we're closed, and this is really annoying. This is really getting on my nerves. Like, what is, instead of sounding that way, you can sound a little bit more positive. There's a silver lining in all of this. And even though our physical store is closed, our online store is open 24/7, and we can ship it to you anywhere you are, because the post office, the USPS offices are open. So that's just a quick, I guess, tip on how to do your social media during these times.
You
So
mentioned, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but you mentioned that the USPS is open. There is a branch there in the mall, right?
yeah, so they're open too, because
They're
they're
open.
considered essential. Yeah. And so those are the things that we're doing, is just posting regularly and boosting those posts, because on social media you do have to pay to play. Now it's important now more than ever that if you have important messages on social media that you want it to get out there, right now is a good time to invest in your business to boost those posts, because guess what is everyone doing right now when they're at home?
Just
They're
going
scrolling through
through
their
using
phone. So,
TikTok, right?
exactly.
Kind of
No.
learning the TikTok now because my kid is on it and he's like, I want to learn how to do TikTok. And, some of these TikToks are outrageous. They're funny, but some of them are very offensive too. So we got to be careful what the kids are watching these days. But,
Yeah.
they're sitting there in front of their computers or if not watching, some television, but most of them are hungry for information right now, like hungry for help. I've
Yeah.
got a lot of calls on the forbearance, and and we had yesterday somebody on our interview who was talking about the SBA loans that are available right now to help the business owners and independent contractors go through this. So yeah, it's something that it's very important, and that's why we would like to do this more often. And again, this can be seen again, but then we want to do this again maybe in the next couple of weeks, Sweeney. So like updates and things like that, we want to do it regularly. So and then that way people will share that, oh, they're doing it kind of on a regular basis, so that way they know where to go to, and then they be more ready, because things like this we just schedule it right now. It's not yet posted, and I'm thinking maybe you can give me an idea where we can post it, maybe an Eventbrite, like say meet us on Facebook for to reach more people outside of
Yeah.
our network.
Totally. I know this is our first
Tell me
one.
about that. How can we do
Yeah.
that?
Well, this is our first one, so it was one of those, like, it was sort of last minute, but it wasn't. So definitely, I think what we need to do is probably create an event on Facebook and share it that way. Then we can invite people into that event, and then once it's live, then we can push out a notification to all the people that accepted the invitation. Um, yeah, thank you, Dexter. But you mentioned TikTok, and let me just talk about TikTok, because we have a lot of people on here that's probably feeling like I'm too old for TikTok, because I definitely felt that way, right? I'm too old for TikTok, but I'm not, because I'm always so youthful and playful. I'm over there doing all the challenges. But on TikTok, you can also use TikTok for business. If you create an account, okay, now let me back up. There is information out there that TikTok, let me just put it out there, because you're going to do this at your own risk. TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, and that, being owned by a Chinese company, they watch all your movement on the phone, but because they're owned by a Chinese company, that they're required to report those data to their government. So now that's the issue, is privacy. However, there really is no privacy with all the apps that you use. Google is like analyzing all your movements on your
Mhm.
phone.
Analytics.
So they are all analyzing your movement on your phone. So now the big issue is that the government does not want government people to use their government phone for TikTok, which makes sense because they don't want the Chinese government to, it's government phone. So that's that on TikTok. So every app that we use, they're always tracking our movement. But that is the price that we pay for using these apps. So because they have to study, like they have to study and grow their business, and that includes studying your movement. So TikTok, you can use t- the downloads for TikTok has spiked through the roof since quarantine, and the users of 30 plus and 40 plus and even 50 plus year old people, it has spiked up too. And so one of the ways that you can use TikTok is definitely just to find a niche. Like for me, for instance, I haven't used it for marketing yet, but I will. I just have to get over that. Like, oh, should I download it on my phone? Because I have my work phone, then I have my personal phone. So anyway, I do plan to use TikTok for marketing. There are people out there that use TikTok for finances, for real estate, and all that stuff. And once you have a niche, then people will follow you for that reason. So if you think that TikTok is great because everyone's on there right now, try it. It doesn't help. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it. Um, so that's what I want to say about TikTok. You can do all the fun stuff or you can use it for business. Totally. Gary Vee, if you know who Gary Vee is, he's on TikTok and he's always uploading all his like little snippets
Yes.
of wisdom. I am following a couple of like financial people, and they would just literally like take a take a video of their screen, like this is the stock for today, this is what you should do. So you can totally use it for business.
And I love that too. And going back to those analytics, some people like here in Facebook, and this is a great example. When you click on something that's on their shopping thing, like the marketing these products in there. Like one day I was clicking into, I was interested on because I'm home, so I can't go walk around. And I'm like, oh, this is an interesting kind of little treadmill, that I can use at home. And then all of a sudden you see the ads for similar items going in your thread. So I know that they're watching. It's kind of creepy in a way.
And listening.
And then listen, listen.
Yeah, they are
Be
listening.
careful what we put out there or what we click, because it does save your information. It's like cookies, it's all over the place. So you leave cookie crumbs on what you like, and then
Exactly.
you even see it on your email. Hey, there's this sale and stuff like that, and it's kind of creepy to
Interesting.
me. It's like, are they, how are they knowing that I'm in the market for this type of product? So, we kind of be careful. And then, of course, the scams are up now. We got to be careful of those things too. I've seen a decline on the scammers wherein they take your profile and then take on somebody else, because I think people have caught on now that those are not real. But anyway, we kind of got sidelined there. But
No, no, no.
yeah,
But
but
let's talk about what you just said, how the phones were listening and stuff like that. So
okay, let's do
here's
it.
another marketing tip that we can get out of that. Two things that I want to discuss is a mind frame, right? You're gonna have people that will feel that it's a very intrusive. I don't like this. I don't like that my phone is listening. I don't like that it's showing me ads because I'm looking at I was looking at treadmills and it's showing me ads about treadmills. That's one mind frame. You have another mind frame, which is my mind frame, is that I love it. I love that it's listening to me. I love that I'm looking for animal print blouse. Is going to show me all these different animal print blouses I can buy from, because it helps me narrow down my searches, or it helps me not have to look for things. It's
Yeah.
just being served. Now, on another mind frame for marketers, that's perfect, because then we can really target the people that we want, that are already thinking about our products. So it's not so bad, I don't think. It just depends on how conservative you are. And then the next thing to think about is your website. So one of the things that you guys can work on while you're in quarantine is definitely go through your website and go through the content of your website, and see if you're using enough of the keywords that applies to your business, so that you would be searchable on Google. So that's what we call SEO, search engine optimization. Um, it's it's a big topic, but I'm only going to talk the simplest part of SEO, because I don't want to be too technical. Plus, I'm not an expert in the SEO. So, but I do know, and I do think that you guys would at least relate to this, that most of your website, you probably have now updated your content. I mean, do you have a good about me page? Do you have a good about us page? If you're selling products online, do you have a great description of your products? Just for example, the owner of Nasty Gal, which is like a clothing line. She started off just like dumpster diving from like vintage clothing to another, and she made all her money because she would take great pictures of those clothing that she found on vintage for $10 and would sell it for like $150 because it's vintage, and people didn't know what really the value of it is. And how she really made a lot of money is that she was very descriptive, and she was very good at like this, like let's say this animal print, you could just say animal print with a tie around the neck, but you can say beige animal print, perfect for this type of thing. It's long sleeve, it has buttons here. Like, you can be more descriptive, and when you are more descriptive of your items, you're using more keywords, which you would be more searchable on Google. So when I say searchable, it's like when people type animal print blouses, hopefully you would be one of those results on the first page without even paying for any, keywords. And so that's one thing that you guys can work on your website is you have to be wordy enough so that the search engines can crawl your website and find these keywords and would then present you as a result. But then you don't want to be so long-winded that your customers are going to be like, what are you saying?
Board.
You know,
Our laws, right? Yeah. So
exactly.
two parts to that. So first one is that's a great way of reminding us, since we're sitting here in front of our computers, that this is a good time for us to revamp and refresh our website. Just for everybody out there, when Sweeney first did a workshop for the FACC SLAA, she had inspired me. This was a few years ago, Sweeney. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember that, but
I
you
do.
inspired me to do your own website. Because I know I have a business which is here, Regal, but
Yeah, there you
they have they I do we have our own website for Regal, but people nowadays want to deal with somebody that they know, somebody that they can trust, somebody that they are able to communicate with, or maybe identify themselves with. So I was inspired because of you to do a JaniceJimenez.com, wherein they can kind of meet me. But problem with that is the time that it took for us to build it, and then now I am really honest to tell you that I haven't revamped that page. A lot of things happened since I started it, and I updated it maybe a year ago. So between then and now, there's so much more that has happened, and possibly was going to be helpful putting in there. And one thing I thought about is that maybe for the things that, because me being the president of Philem Chamber of Commerce right now, I get a lot of information from different sources that could be helpful for people. But in Facebook, you can't upload PDFs, you can't upload documents, things of that nature. And I'm like,
you
why don't I put it there?
you can in a group.
In a group, yeah, but not like on a feed, like, because I can only do links and stuff in a group. So I'm like, maybe I could put it on one document page, or in they can say, hey, just go there and just grab those documents. It doesn't need to have anything related to my business. It's just something that everybody can use. So thank you for that. And again, I'll find a time to update my own website, because again, there's a lot of things that has is different from then and now. Maybe my situation is also same situation as our viewers today. So maybe, do you have any more add-ons to that? And then two is, if they're not yet savvy on doing websites and on social media, what can they do? Can you help them out?
Yeah. So first thing is I want to give a shout out to the people that are here that I can see. Charmaine, Doc Elanine is here. Darlene, yay, you made it. You found us.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you guys put on like comment on the comment section so we can
Yeah,
give
and
you a shout.
share this too. Share this
Yeah,
to all of
right.
your networks, and they can
Totally.
come in here and join us and have fun. So
Yeah. So what Janice was just saying, see, I'm calling Janice. What Janice was just saying is that, I when I did this workshop a while back, I advised everyone that if you are like a public personality, you have an expertise that you share with people, you have a business, or even if it's not currently the reality, maybe in the future you see yourself as that, maybe you're planning on writing a book, anything like that that makes you a personality, you should really buy your domain name. Like I own SweeneyMae.com. Janice has JaniceJimenez.com. So if you haven't done that, grab it before anyone else grab. I mean, I hope no one else is out there the same name as you, but if you have a common name and you have to think about, creative ways you're gonna buy your domain. If you don't know what to put on there for now, you can always forward it to your business if it's empty. At least you own the domain name. Like my SweeneyMae.com is on auto renew. Like I don't want to forget. Hi, Chris. Yeah, I don't want to
hi,
forget to take,
Chris.
and then later on, like regret. Like, oh my God, if someone else is named Sweeney Mae out there, that's for one. But
There is, Sweeney.
there is. Oh darn it. but what you can do if you're not good at websites is that you can create like a one pager from these so many templates out there that you can do. If you guys have a MailChimp account, you can actually go on the top left of MailChimp account and you can hit create, and then let me see, let me just go on there so I'm telling you the right things. MailChimp, just by the way, is a mass mailing service, and it's free if you only have about 2,000 or less emails that you've collected. And so this is great because it's one of the like easiest things that you can do. So if you're on your MailChimp account, and if you don't have one, I suggest you open one. It's free. If you go on your MailChimp and you hit create, and you can hit and then you choose a landing page. What a landing page is like one of those, have you ever like been on Facebook and someone's selling their book, someone's selling their webinar, and then you click on that link? It's just like one page that you can just keep scrolling down. There isn't like 5 pages that you can go to. That's called a landing page. That means that they were trying to generate you as a lead. It's a lead generating promotion. You click on that, then they lead you to this landing page, which all they're doing is selling whatever it is that they're selling, and then to collect your email. That's typical, or to sell, like if they have if they just launched a book, is to sell that book. So whatever it is, a landing page's purpose is like something very simple. It's not supposed to be a website, but if you do have a MailChimp account, you can create a landing page, and it's free. And it's all templates. As soon as you say you hit create, you hit landing page, there's templates out there, and all you have to do is change the photos to whatever you want it to be. So that's the easiest way that I can share with you how to just have your website. So now what you want to do when you create that landing page, it will have like a long, whatever URL. Then what you have to do is go to your domain, if you bought it from GoDaddy, for example, and then forward it to that. So then when they hit SweeneyMae.com, it will go to that page temporarily until you get to a
That's a
point.
great idea because when before, when I didn't used to know it, when I bought my name, I didn't know what to do yet, and it took me a while because I wanted to learn how to do my own website, and at that time it was very expensive to hire somebody to do it for me. So
Yeah,
I was like, I want to do this myself, and it was sparked. Meaning, when people go there, it says something like this page is under construction or something, like that. But if I knew then what I know now, I would have done what you said, do a MailChimp campaign or a landing page, and
landing page.
and point it there so that
Yeah,
they actually see something. They see my face, they see who I
yeah,
am, kind of like brief about me page and about the businesses that I do. So yeah,
yeah,
that's great. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for
So,
now, for me, yeah,
yeah.
my SweeneyMae.com is actually a WordPress page, where I host my blog. So when I have time, I do blog about marketing, And I did just post a blog recently. So if you guys go to sweeneymay.com, I do have a blog about some things that you can do for marketing while in quarantine. So just exactly what we're talking about. So there was a second part to that.
So for people who are lost in social media, where do they start? What's the difference between one, or say Facebook versus LinkedIn versus Twitter? Well, what are they going to do? Should they go first?
Yeah.
What is going on, and where should they concentrate or start at least?
Okay. So well, if you guys are here, you have Facebook clearly,
Yeah.
and so and so if you want to work on your social media presence as a business, then you must have a business page. And I'm pretty confident everyone that's here knows the difference by now. You have a profile page and a business page. Your profile page, you have friends. Your business page, you have likes. So that's the main difference. For your business page, it's better if you do have a business page, so then you can take advantage of all the features that they offer for free, or you can also pay to do ads. You can't do that on your personal pages, profile pages. And so, what I suggest if they haven't started anything is go ahead and start with your Facebook page, business page. And the question as to what do I use? Do I use LinkedIn? Do I use Instagram? Do I use Twitter? Marketing is all about trial and error. You are not really going to be 100% sure what channel is right for you until you go on there and try it. Because, for one, I think Facebook is a staple. You should have Facebook because it's the biggest platform out there. It has the most users. Most people are on Facebook. Now, Facebook also owns Instagram. But then if your business is not really all about photos and things that you can show, then it's not going to be really easy for you. Or if you have a hard time making sure you always post photos, then it's not going to be good for you. So the two things that you have to consider to see what platform is good for you is to use them and try to see if it becomes easier, it becomes natural for you to use it. Now, if you have a business and your customers are going to be the decision makers, then LinkedIn is great for you because everyone on LinkedIn is pretty much someone who has a professional career or someone who owns a business, and so you want to network with the decision makers, then they're on LinkedIn. And if you have a business, I suggest you also should start a LinkedIn page for your business. So if you haven't done that, then you can do a lot of your update about your business on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, if you guys didn't know that. So if you don't have a LinkedIn page, but you have a profile, again, there's only so much you can do in your profile. The LinkedIn business page, however, will have more features for you to use, to just give more information about your company. And so same with Instagram. Instagram, when you start your profile on Instagram, you have an option to make it a personal profile or a business profile. When you convert actually you have three options there. You have either a personal account, a business account, or a creator account. So a creator account is more like if you're an influencer and you're always creating content. If you're a business account, it's more for like not so much that you're creating content, but you have an online shop or a brick and mortar store. So you have a lot of options, and I think and Twitter, for me, Twitter is really good for people who are nonprofits or in the political field because that's mostly what they talk about on Twitter. And on YouTube, it's really good if you are the type of company that is like having to share a lot of like tutorial or DIY, like this is how you create this, or you share a lot of information as far as teaching other people how to do things, right? So then you should have a YouTube page because then you can share a longer video on there. So those are just the top things to consider. What platform would be good for your business, and don't overwhelm yourself. Start with one, then add another one. So start with Facebook, then maybe add like Instagram or add LinkedIn. And while we're all at home, it's the best time to try all these platforms.
Yeah, because we all say, "Oh, I don't have time to do that. I don't want to have to start something." But now, a lot of us are just, are have that spare time to relearn. And I always say, use this time to make it productive, to use this time to get certifications, learn things that you know you want to always, learn in the past that you didn't have time for, and work on yourself, work on your business. And so that when everything passes, you're ready to face the new world. It's going to be, everybody wants to do something after this. Everyone is going to go out and eat. Everything that they miss going outside, they will do. But see, if you did not position yourself right now for that, you're going to be last in mind, right? Let's say in my business, I do want them to keep me in mind when they want to refinance or when they want to buy a house, because after all this, some people have slowed down or maybe stopped thinking about buying homes. So maybe when they're ready, because they keep seeing me and they keep, getting value from what we're doing here, they that can be first in mind. You know what I mean? That's essentially what needs to happen when you are a business owner. So you have to be continuously in front of your clients, whether they need you now or later, right? So
Yes.
when you said something about TikTok and doing videos and things like that, I want you to tell people, what advice can you give them if they don't want to be in front of a camera? They don't want to go live. They're uncomfortable showing their face. What then?
Well, if you're uncomfortable, but you do have the desire to eventually be in front of the camera, I think that practice makes perfect, right? I think, none of us started perfect, or none of us started in the level that we are now. I mean, I'll give you an example. English is like my second language, maybe my third language, because I, speak another dialect. So when I used to get on the microphone, I used to stutter because I'm still translating English in my head. And but eventually, the more I just went up there, the better I was. I was more natural. I was able to express myself better. And the same thing with video. I mean, I used to the video, add a few pounds when you're in video, but eventually you get over that, because what's more important? Yes, practice, Myra. What's more important is that you are sharing value to your customers. And I want to keep answering that question and also address what you said earlier, that you keep doing these videos to give people value. you know Social media is really supposed to only be for you to do soft sell, and soft sell, giving people value as far as what your expertise are, and giving them that value and not expecting for them to pay for those things in return, is a way for you to soft sell. Because if you're not sharing what you know, then people are not going to assume you know so much. So I think that and then I had a friend that I was on a call the other day, and she's like, I'm just so tired of rejection. Like, I try to I try to get people to hire my company to do HR, but I always just get, oh, it's not right now, not right now, it's not a good time. And I told her, I looked at her social media, I'm like, but you're not out there putting yourself as an expert in HR. So instead of keeping on pitching yourself to people then getting rejected, another alternative would be is that you go in front of the camera, or you post, or you write things to show that you're an expert at something, and then you will attract people to work with you, instead of having to go out there and knock on doors and find people to work with you. So with me, I don't suffer with the rejection part, because I don't really have time to knock on doors anyway. So it's just easier for me to share my knowledge on social media. And I never really expect anything in return, except for that I hope that people that are listening, it will help them and it will give value to them. And a lot of times, even my counterparts are like, man, you're giving way too much information. Like, what am I going to do with that information if it just stayed in my head? I want to be able to help other people. And so if you are thinking of like, if I'm going to go live, what am I going to talk about? Think about what you are an expert of. And if you haven't thought of exactly and honed in on that, or think that you're not an expert on anything, you're wrong. You're an expert in something. Even if you're an expert at changing your baby's diapers, there's people out there that don't know how to change baby
Exactly.
diapers. And
The
so if
simplest things, sometimes you still can give some tips, some value, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Dexter said here, he said something, stay engaged and stay relevant. That is so true. That is so
yes,
true, especially nowadays. And I had a message I think sometime just a few days ago, because they've been watching my video feeds. And honestly, I would do that. I just have a little bit of a filter because I don't have time to put on makeup. I don't have time to really look good. So I just, just a simple filter to kind of, not wash out my face. But I wanted to get them that information as soon as I get it, as fresh as possible. So I just put a camera in my face. I stutter, like you, I still do now. But then my intentions of giving the value is more important than how I look. I think that comes through, and because it's my passion. I want to share you with the pertinent information, what you need to know right now, what's relevant right now. And I don't want it to go stale. So if I have to go to use 2 hours of my time to, make my face, and she said, but you talk so eloquently. And I said, I don't consider myself eloquent. I just convey what's on my mind and what's in my heart. So as authentic as you can get, because people can also smell and see fakes a mile away. So
Right.
you can be as authentic and real as possible. I think that that is a good way to communicate your true intentions to the viewers, right?
And speaking of being true, your brand should actually have a personality. So you don't want to sound bland. You don't want to sound boring. You don't want to sound too uptight. I keep talking about my animal print shirts is the easiest thing example for me to have. So let's say like I'm selling this animal print shirt. If I post this picture and I'm trying to sell this shirt, I can't just post buy this animal print shirt for 17.99. I don't know, shipping and handling, blah blah blah. Or I could be more colorful and I would have more personality. And I decide that my brand is a little bit more clever, witty, and funny and sarcastic. And sometimes that's really the best type of personality when it comes to brand personality. So I say that because I have a friend and she has like a meal prepping business, and she's posting these. I'm like, I'm posting, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, you just said a whole bunch to me. Why wouldn't you say that to social media? Sometimes people feel like they have to be so uptight and be something else on social media, but you can just be yourself. And people work with people they like. So if they like your personality, they're going to work with you. If they don't, they're not going to. And no love lost there. There's so many people out there that are offering the same services. It would not offend me if you prefer someone else. It's probably better that way than we sit here and fake some kind of likable relationship. Um, Someone's asking, do you recommend organic ads or pay-per-click ads on FB and IG? Um, I'm not sure what you meant, because organic usually means is not quite an ad. So if you want to clarify your question, I'll try to answer it. Um, yeah. So try and ask me again to see if I can get it a different way.
Yeah, and
Um,
Myra said, she said share from the heart, and that's really true. That's very important, because again, if you appear to be fake, or if you appear to share something you don't know anything about, then the viewers would know that, and it's not effective.
yeah, and if
It's
you
your
wanna if
trust.
you yeah, if you want to go on live, or if you want to do a video and you want to share tips, um, if you want to share tips, don't be afraid to list your tips and read through your tips and then elaborate and get off your list and talk to the camera. I do that a lot on my Instagram for my marketing page. I'll say something like 10 tips for blah blah blah, but I'll write down my tips and I'll refer to my notes and then I'll talk to the camera. So then, you know, you don't want to feel like you have to memorize a script. You can go off the handle, and like I said, no one started anything perfectly. So if a few and then think about it, if you're just about to start anyway, maybe not a lot of people are going to see it anyway. So just keep doing it,
Yeah,
and the more you
yeah,
do it and the more value you give people, it's just if it comes from the heart, like Myra said, it will be great.
yeah.
It will eventually catch on, and the right people will hear
Message.
your message. And then, speaking of that, don't be afraid to ask people while you're doing the video, if you like what you hear, please share this. If you know people that can use this advice, please share it. I'm trying to grow my page, so help me grow my page by sharing my message. There's nothing wrong with saying that. And sometimes by asking, you're reminding people to share, because how many times do you watch videos and you don't share it? But if people say, please share this, you actually do. So you sometimes have to just think about how you how you behave social media wise, and then, oh yeah, I shared that, and then you ask yourself, why did I just share that? Oh, because she asked me to. Or why did I share that? Oh, because I really liked the information and I think my friends could really use this information. So how you're behaving on social media, pay attention to that, and then use it reverse for your business. He
Yeah,
clarified
you
organic posts.
clarify the question. So go ahead.
So yeah, so I think both. You have to do both. So I know, I'm sorry, but organic. If you're gonna do an organic post, for instance, and if you don't share, if you don't pay for it, if you use your business page to share anything, right away Facebook is gonna know, and it's gonna think for itself, okay, you're trying to advertise something. We want your money, so we want you to play. So if you if you have a Facebook page, you should also have a profile page. So what I want you to try is share whatever it is you're sharing on your business page, and then share that on your profile page. So both, and try and look and see which one is getting more traction. So again, marketing is all about trial and error. A lot of times we do A and B testing. We do A and we do B. Let's see which one will get more traction. So try that first without paying, and then also try to post at different times. Maybe you posted it at 7 a.m. Well, that used to be a good time to post it, but now people are asleep at 7 a.m. because we're in quarantine.
Keeping in.
So, yeah, so try to post it at 12 p.m. See if more people did it, and then try different words. If it's something really important, then it's really worth doing the trial and error. So try and post at different times, try using different words. And if you're not still getting any traction, try and boost it for like $10 for like 2 days and see what you get. So I think if the question is which one is better, organic or paid, it's always going to be paid, because the paid one will reach more people. But of course, the organic one saved you money. But then again, Facebook ads aren't really that expensive because you get to set your own budget, which is great. It's my favorite like platform to advertise, actually.
So here's another question for you. Now you're saying we should have a business page as well as a personal page. I mean, I've always been careful. I'm always a positive poster, which means that I don't mention anything that's negative. Only if it's pertinent, or maybe I want to create, not create, but just convey. You can say condolences or things like that. It's lately, I didn't want to share this, but we had some bad news in the family. So and in my personal page, I share that so the other members of the family know. Something like that. But how raw and how personal do we get on our Facebook personal page when we have a business page? I'm pretty sure we have to all be careful what we put in there, because then you say earlier, you said something about people want to know you personally. They want to know if you're somebody that they can relate to. But if you put a whole bunch of stuff in there and they get confused, like, oh, I thought you were this professional, yet you speak differently on your personal Facebook profile, then those two don't really mean something. You know what I mean? They kind of negate each other. What can you say about that? Or maybe how can people clean up their Facebook profiles so that it does not hurt their business, especially if they have two, the personal and the business page?
So if you own a business page, you definitely have a profile page, because you can't have a business page without a profile page. So, is the question, how can I have synergy in both? Is that
Yes, or perhaps how do we, what types of limitations do we put ourselves on the stuff that we put out there, so that it's not detrimental to the business, it's not detrimental to the organizations like myself that I represent? What type of guidelines, internal guidelines, I say, or filters that we need to use? Because some people, sometimes if they get frustrated, they just put it out there in the world. We don't need to be hearing your woes and sorrows and things like that. You know what I
totally?
mean? It's
Yeah.
it's unnecessary, especially
So,
again if you're a business owner. Maybe if you don't own a business and you don't care what people think, then, well, one is, if you don't care what people think, don't post it. So, or if you care what people think and you react to it, then don't post it either, right? So that's
Yeah.
just my thought about it. But again, I am trying to protect our business owner friends and family here. So what advice can you give them? How do they clean up that page, or how do they keep the page? If Should they still be on it? Should they still be posting if they have a personal, a business page?
So yeah, I think that you totally should. You have every right to keep your profile page personal. Then your business page is all about your business, and then you also are free to post anything personal on there just to share about yourself. So now your main, I think that in general we should always be careful what we put out there. Just to let you guys know, even on my Facebook profile, I don't really put my birth date on there, because you know what I mean. Like, I don't really put my personal information on there, because a lot of the people that are into the fraudulent, whatever scams, they do use your Facebook
Yes.
uh, information to try and get to your other relatives, to like do this scam. Anyway, so be careful anyway what you put out there. I think if you have a business, you are a brand. So if you care about that, you are a brand. You do have to think about what you put out there. Now, there are people that rant on their Facebook page, and they can rant. It's their page, which brings me to the thing that sometimes people are so angry about what people share. That's their page. Just let them share what they want, right? If you don't like it, unfriend them. You don't like it, scroll through. You don't have to read it, right? You read it and then like be in misery and be mad about what you read. Don't read it if you don't like it. But in terms of how to make it work for your business, I think that when you're sharing anything, I think that you should think about how storytelling is a big thing in marketing. For example, I recently became a Yoli distributor, and I could just put my before and after and say, "Oh my God, Yoli helped me lose 10 pounds. I love Yoli. You guys interested? DM me." I'm pretty sure they're not gonna DM me, maybe a little bit of people, but if I share that authentic story, and this is a real example. I shared my authentic story out there. I was introduced to Yoli 4 years ago, and I was resistant because I thought I was young enough to exercise my way through this weight loss, and I didn't feel like I should spend my money on that stuff. But now this is what happened. I had a change of heart, and this is the result. So by sharing a story, there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end, and it's all strategic. It's not just because it's what happened. It's I'm sharing it with a purpose that people will understand where exactly I was coming from and how this could help them. So the same, if you have a business, I'm sure your business has something to do with helping other people. And if you're not sharing a story that will strike a chord in people's emotion or people's wants and needs or people's aspirations, then it's hard to inspire them to buy from you or to work with you. So if you're not spending time to create and design the posts that could move your audience to make moves, then they're not going to. So if you're going to be like, oh, I keep posting this and no one's interested, no one's interested. But I'm like, did you make it interesting though? Did you tell an interesting story that will make them interested? So sometimes people get frustrated, but they haven't looked deeper inside of them to see if they're even sharing the right message. Which brings me to one of the tips that I have is that, one of the things that we can do while we're in quarantine right now is to review our mission, our goal for our business, and is our messaging, is that in line still? Have we changed? Have we evolved into something else? Should we upgrade or update those missions and visions and goals and that we originally had on our website that's outdated? Should we update them to something that is, what you are now?
More
So
relevant.
exactly. So and do those things when you post things on your social media, does that tie in to how you want to help? And the biggest question should be, how are you bringing value in your customers' lives? What problems do your customers have that you're able to solve for them? And that's the biggest thing that I believe in with marketing is you should market the problem you're solving and not the product you're selling.
Or hopefully not start a problem.
Yes, that too.
That's backwards, right? But then, sometimes that steers something up because you said something and that created something that's very negatively taken from an outsider's point of view. If they don't know where you're coming from. So that's why you do need to tell your story. Because when you make that statement, what did you mean by that? You know what I mean? Instead of people thinking, oh, he means to be negative, if they know your story, then they know where you're coming from, right? So I think there's more understanding there. So that ties in with still your brand, keeping up with what you're doing for them. And also it's very it's true that your personality goes through the video. So again, it's going back to being authentic. You're being your true self, because when people see that that's not you, or it doesn't fit you, or no, you're just reading that from a script. And I think that's the biggest no nowadays. Before, that's true, you have teleprompters and things like that, but I think if you speak from the heart, it speaks more to that person that it's on the other side of the screen.
Right. Right. If creating content were easy, there wouldn't be full-time positions that is called content creators. So creating content, actually, there's really more art into it. It doesn't mean because of the fact that that's not your job, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. You can do it. You just have to realize that there's more to it than just three sentences that you shared, or just putting something out there without thinking, okay, um, is the message that I'm trying to convey, is it clear? Is it telling a story? Is it going to relate to my audience? So just ask those questions and see the difference between what you're posting now. Maybe you'll develop more patience in actually creating the messages that you put out there after seeing this. So that's my challenge. It's just for you to think more about what you're saying and what you're putting out there, and see if you can put more effort. You can sprinkle more salt and pepper into the things that you're saying. And one example, for example, if you're listening to me, if you're watching this, we've all been in the dating world, I would say. And in the dating world, you don't, in the first date, for example, you don't just spill everything about you. You kind of time it. Okay, I'm gonna tell him that I'm this, or I'm gonna tell her about me this way. But you don't tell them your entire life story in one post. So plan it out. Okay, this, I'm gonna give you just a little bit about me. So it's kind of like seductive. Like you're seducing your customers to buy into your brand and to buy into your message. Now, how can you put that same effort into your brand and the things that you the content that you put out there? How can you apply the art of seduction into that? So I think that's what I want people to be more excited about, and to put more effort in and to be more inspired, is to create better content for your brand.
So, what about outside of Facebook? What about outside of the four major platforms? Would you recommend doing Google, or how can we tighten up our online presence? Because nowadays people don't drive out there, they don't see your posters and your signs. So uh, obviously, online is a way to go. So outside of the four platforms, what do you recommend?
If you have a brick and mortar store, I hope that you have claimed your Google page. If you have a brick and mortar, like for instance, South Bay Pavilion is an actual physical store. So if you Google South Bay Pavilion, you'll actually see on the Google results on the side, like all these other information, because I can control that because I've claimed that page. And claiming your page in Google is actually two steps. Like if you have a brick and mortar store, you can Google yourself to see if it pops up and it's on the right location. And then you somewhere on there, because it's been a while since I claimed anything, somewhere on there you should be able to like claim this business. And what will happen is then they will ask all this information from you, and then they will have to mail you an actual like letter that has a confirmation key. Then you can claim that page. And once you claim that page, you can control the information on that page as far as your hours, your pictures that you put up there. Then you can read all the reviews about you and etc. So that's one, is the Google platform if you have a brick and mortar store. The next one for brick and mortar stores too is GPS advertising.
Oh, I never
So
heard of that. What is that?
so if you if you use Waze, for example, you can actually create an account on Waze and you can advertise on Waze. If you've ever used Waze, maybe you've noticed it'll pop up on there and say there's a gas station nearby, there's a mall nearby. So that's one thing that I use too for GPS is that hopefully when they drive through the 405 or when we had traffic, that it will pop up and say there's South Bay Pavilion nearby. Stop by, it's this exit or whatever. So that's GPS, GPS advertising. And another one is if you don't have a brick and mortar store, is digital billboards. Now you're gonna think billboards. Oh my God, that's expensive. I can't afford billboards. True, they can be expensive. A billboard on the 405, and I've bought them before, is 7,000 for 1 month, sometimes eight, because it's on the 405, which sees about 350,000 cars. Before, maybe after quarantine, it will be back to that. But you also have, if you have a pen, you can write this down. It's called Blip, BLIP, and it's a digital billboard platform where you can actually set your own budget. So if you only have like $100 a month or $500 a month or more than that, you set up your own budget. You select locations where they do have those billboards available, and then you start bidding for space, for your space. So the caveat is that if it's a popular billboard on a very busy street or a freeway like the 405, if you don't bid high enough, then you're not even going to get a space. But you have locations where it's like side streets somewhere or whatever, and then you can actually get a space there. But what you want to do is, yeah, you can create an account there. You can pick your locations, upload your ads, and then you can start bidding, and you can even customize when you want your ads to show. Because let's say on the 405, typically you have your morning commute, you have your lunch commute, and you have your after work commute. So if you're serious about your business, you only want to advertise during those times because it's slower traffic on the 405. That means if they drive by the billboard, they actually have time to see it. Because if there's no traffic, they're going by so fast, they might not see your billboards. And typically, billboards last about 8 seconds on the screen. And so, depending on the billboards, the locations that you choose, you can. I've had a farmers market billboard on the 405 for, I want to say it was $100 per week, and I was able to get space $100 per week. So it can go as low as that if it's busy season like the holidays. Unfortunately, you may not get $100 per week. So you just it's a pay as you go and set your own budget thing, and it's called Blip, BLIP.
That's great. That's great. So, a couple of things. One of our viewers, Tita Fe, hi. Thank you for stopping by here. She said use Yelp too, and that's also a good way to advertise. I'm not sure if it's free or not, but I think that's a good way to, especially if you are on the restaurant business now that still delivers. Um, and um, and one of the things too is I want to plug our Carson Nissan sponsor for the Film Chamber of Commerce of South Los Angeles area, because they have been and they will be our sponsor for the Casino Royale that we're going to have right after this. We're all going to party. So make sure we all get our tickets to Casino Royale. And I'm sure the South Bay Pavilion will be part of the sponsors as well too, right, Sweeney? Just now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but
Well, did you reschedule?
we rescheduled it,
Did
but
you reschedule?
yes, we did. We did. I think we have it on in July at the
Okay.
moment. We
Do you
don't
have a
want
new
to
date?
put it out until we know for sure. So, but we still are accepting
Yeah.
tickets, for people who wants to reserve them, because we're almost up to full with our attendance on that one. But we still have our play only tickets as well too. So anyway, I wanted to just plug
Got
that
it.
they are offering, Courts and Nissan offered to have us on the digital billboard right on the 405 freeway. So watch out for
Wow.
that. The Philippine American Chamber of Commerce ad will be displayed on the digital billboard right there at the 405 and Carson Street intersection. So thank you so much, Carson Nissan. I want to, just a shout out for them. And a shout out for our Yoli friends who has been on this video all the whole time. Thanks, Myra and Doc Aluning, and thank you so much for your support. And yes, facts tell, the stories sell. That's something that a lot of these people that are on the direct selling business know by heart, that if they tell stories, those actually sell. Like what you did was very effective, putting up your before and after pictures. So thank you for that information. Now, is there anything else that they should be doing, like be collecting emails? Should we be posting, like putting out
Yes.
emails, or should we still do the snail mail part of it, or any other ideas that's out of the box?
So it really depends on your type of business, but right now would be a good time to do snail mails if you do have that in your budget because people are home. But it depends on your budget. People are still doing a lot of snail mail type of marketing. It is more expensive. You do have to print. You have to buy your postage, so that's up to you. I feel like collecting emails, and I think that's the last thing on my list that we didn't get to talk about is to continue to build your database because sometimes people think that email is dead, but email is increasingly doing fine. If you just consider yourself, how often do you check your email? What kinds of emails do you subscribe to? What makes you unsubscribe? And then you just reverse that and think about that for your audience. Um, and so this is the best time for you to clean up your mailing list, email that is. And so if you've never segmented your audience, for example, let's say you have like an email list of 5,000 people. Now, do all those 5,000 people need to receive the same emails you send out? Or you can segment them like, okay, I'm gonna segment just the moms. I'm gonna segment just the dads. I'm gonna segment just the 60 plus. And these are the different types of emails I'm gonna send out to these different markets. I mean, there's studies that show that when you do that, when you segment your database and you segment your messages, you're more effective because you're actually talking more specifically to a specific demographic. And so if you've never done that, it's time, yeah, it's time to segment your emails, clean it up. Maybe there's a lot of emails on your list that's not even responding to you. It's time to delete those. And don't be afraid to delete emails that are not responding because it's actually going to improve your conversion rate. If you had 10,000 emails and only 2,000 people are opening, then you have 8,000 people that are showing that are not opening your emails.
That didn't occur
It's
to me.
it's it's part of the game that people give us fake emails or people yeah, or people change their emails through time. And if sometimes what happens with South Bay Pavilion is that I just have to look and see those emails that have never opened an email. Maybe it's misspelled. Maybe instead of one two O's in Yahoo, it was only one typed in there. So sometimes it's a typo. Like go through your emails and see if there's any typos. And then those people that never emailed you, before you delete them, maybe you can send them one last email like, hey, we notice you've never opened an email. If you are sure that you want to unsubscribe or don't want to receive any information from us, click here. Then that, or maybe it's like, hey, if you want to keep receiving emails from us, please reply back so we know that this email is still valid. So it's time to clean up your mailing list, guys, if you've never done it. Also, don't stop building your database. If you have valuable information that you want to put out there, try and build some kind of filter and funnel where, hey, I have this information, sign up and I'll send you the information. That way you're collecting emails. It's good to also give out great information so they know you do have the information, but sometimes maybe you have specific information that you can collect emails for, so then you can have that one step in the middle that they have to give their emails for them to receive this thing. So for example, like right now, this is free, you can watch this, but maybe I can collect you guys' email by saying, hey, after you watched it, this is just fake, so don't think this is true. Like after you watch this, I actually have a workbook that you can get free. So just click this link, and then on that link, I'll get your email. Then you can get this workbook for free. So just things like that. You definitely can have information for free and with no requirements. Then think of other things that are more valuable that you can get their collect their emails for.
That's great. That's huge information. I didn't know that we've been talking for over an hour now. Did you realize that? This is so much fun. I don't even realize that the time goes by so
I
fast,
know.
right? And so
I have to get
one
ready
thing
for my
I want
Zumba.
say thank you for the FACC SLA members and board of directors that are on in tune with us right now. Thank you so much for being with us. And somebody told me, "Oh, why are you not wearing your Regal shirt? You're wearing Never Relax." Because I think this is really relevant right now, because we should never really relax when we're trying to do, promote our business. You know what I mean? Because I think we use this. I still work as if it's, business as usual. I know it's not business as usual outside, but I still sit on my desk, from 9 to possibly midnight sometimes. And that's true. I don't relax only because I want to further help. I want to be of value. I want to be of service. And I want to further continue learning, so that when all of this is done and over with, I come out as a better person. And I say it for me because this is my own personal thing, but I think it should be something that everybody should go into, like a bandwagon. Be on a bandwagon where you don't never, don't be so lax about it. Don't use this time to catch on some sleep. It's not a good time for that. It's not just relaxing. It's just like you can use this time to spend time with your family. Be somebody who you weren't before, because you were so busy, doing the commute and going to work. So there's always something to do, and then that's why I wore this shirt, because with the marketing side, you don't ever relax too, because you know what? Once you lose your momentum, it's hard to get it back. So it's not just because everybody's at home, you stop promoting your business. Just because your doors are not open, your marketing also stops, because you don't want to be forgotten. You don't want to be something that, oh, what, and you don't survive because of that. Because now, after all of the guidelines are lifted, everybody's out on the street. Would they still remember you? Would they still know that you're still in business? Right? So that's something that's why I wore this shirt, and because my Regal shirt is in the laundry. but that's the reason why I always kind of promote something, or what, how I feel that day. Or I also promote the people that are in FICC SLAA, especially if they do, like, shirts. The other day I wore a shirt from Pinoy Rising, which is, from Demovan. And yeah, so we did a photo shoot on that at Halloween time. Do you remember that? That was really fun.
Yes.
So I wore those shirts to keep promoting him, to keep going, giving them the impression that they're still out there. The businesses are still out there. They're just not open doors because they can't. And also, just yesterday, our governor and the city mayor Garcetti had put out a new guideline that if you're out there on the streets, you please have to wear some sort of a face covering, a mask or a scarf around your face. And the gloves are not mandatory right now, but it has proven that it shortens or it lessens your possibility of contracting the disease, or maybe touching some objects and touching your face with it, so that you don't get contracted. I just want to kind of sneak that in our conversation here, because it's one way to increase awareness that we now have to all wear this if we are in fact going outside. So, Sweeney, you want to promote your video for later? You're gonna have a Zumba at 6, right?
Yeah. So I've been doing my virtual Zumba classes for almost 2 weeks now. I started like 2 Sundays ago. And the reason, when I got back from my long vacation, I took like 6, 7 days to rest. And I agree with Janice, it's not the time for you to slack, but also listen to your body. If you have been very busy like I was, like, I needed that rest. So I just listened to my body. I needed that rest. And finally, when I was done resting, I'm like, okay, it's time to do something, because I can't be unproductive for too long. And so I said, let me start by doing virtual classes, because I miss my live classes in the mall where there's 80 people in front of me. But the next best thing for me to do is virtual, and still be able to help people. Because when we're at home and we're not moving, we're not sweating, we're not exercising, we don't want to gain weight after this. We want to come out of this sexier. We want to be sexier. We want to look better.
Well, that's why
So
it's
make sure
never
you're
relax,
exercising.
right? To keep moving, keep doing
Yeah.
something, right? And yeah, thanks for
Yes.
y'all.
And
I haven't gained weight sitting in this desk, 50, 60 hours a week. Thank you.
yes. Um, and,
There are members
and
of
even
our chamber.
yeah, and even if it's not with me, if you don't like Zumba, you don't have to do Zumba with me.
Oh, he
Literally,
does it
a
too.
lot of the Yeah, Noni does it too. Yeah. So literally every fitness instructor out there is putting free content for you guys to work out at home. Not just me. I know at least 10 other people that are doing it. And so take advantage of that. And you don't know where to find it, DM me and I'll give you some information. I know so many personal instructors, especially on Instagram, that are doing live workouts for free, guys. And so you don't have to. And also moving and for me, dancing is a great way to release just endorphins. Don't, this can be depressing, but you don't have to get depressed. So find something active and fun to do. This Sunday marks my 2 weeks of doing live Zumba, and I'm doing an 80s and 90s quarantine party. So if you're gonna join me, I'm gonna be decked out. You don't have to dress up, but if you want to at least do your hair or put a headband on like we're in the 80s, that would be super fun, and do Zoom with me. I'm gonna put on my 80s outfit, and I have all my 80s and 90s playlists. So join me. Besides marketing, I love to dance, so that's one thing that you'll always see me do.
Dexter wanted to share their business directory there.
Yeah, so from the other chamber who's online too, that's partnering with us, is LA South Chamber. And if you also, um, it's not a bad idea to be a part of different chambers of commerce, especially if you cover a lot of different area. So check out LA South Chamber of Commerce and see the other activities they have too. I'm a part of that chamber. I'm a part of Philam Chamber. When I say me, I mean the mall. And then I'm a part of the Carson Chamber. I'm a part of the Long Beach Chamber. That way, you have a lot of opportunities to network and be a part of different chambers, and be productive and stay productive. A lot of different chambers are giving a lot of value. Like today, this is a great value to just talk about marketing. And I hope that you guys learned a lot, and I hope the people that will watch this on replay will learn a lot, and we would have helped so many people. So kudos to you, Janice, for working on this. So this, while you're doing all this live broadcasting after quarantine, you'd be an expert in live broadcasting now. I'm sure you'll keep on doing it.
I know, right? So tomorrow we're going to do the coronavirus pathophysiology and the ways for prevention again with our scientist and chemist friend Evelyn Apostol. Last time it was a technical difficulty issue, so they couldn't hear and see her very well. So now that I kind of figured this out, we can put her back, and we would welcome your questions. And this is from the insight of a scientist, so she would have more facts, and I would truly believe somebody who is in that field, because they know how things work. They know what I need to do to prevent myself from contracting, or maybe just boost my immune system in order for me to not get caught in the panic, or not get misinformed at this time, because there's a lot of false information out there. Believe it or not, it's bombarding your mailboxes, your messengers. Everybody's just talking about anything, and some of these you just have to filter what to believe. If the information came from a reputable source, then I will believe it. But if not, I'll probably find it funny or just put it on the side. But please stay informed, stay safe, stay home, and stay connected with us here, especially online, and with what we're doing with Sweeney here. And we're going to do it again. We're just going to have to figure out another time and maybe add on different topics so that we can stay value and relevant to them.
So on our way out, I guess my outro is going to share with you guys one of the things that I'm doing with South Bay Pavilion, and maybe it'll spark an idea with you. So with South Bay Pavilion being closed, we literally really don't have much to promote but the restaurants that are open. We don't have events to promote, and even when we open again, we don't know how soon we all feel comfortable to be in a crowded place.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I'm doing actually is partnering with IKEA and my friend Tanisha from Natural Born Organizers, who's actually, I believe, a member of the LA South Chamber. And we're doing a 7-day declutter challenge. So why am I doing this? Is because I still want to keep South Bay Pavilion relevant in the homes of our shoppers, and I want to engage our shoppers at this time. During quarantine, I think one of the top things people are doing are cleaning up, or one of the things they want to do but don't have the energy or just don't know where to start is to clean up. So we are partnering with a professional organizer to help us tackle our home room by room so we can declutter them. And then I'm incentivizing our shoppers that if you do join in this challenge and you complete it, you could win. The grand prize is a $300 worth package with gift cards and a basket from IKEA that will have a lot of organizational stuff in there. Then we will have consolation prize for people that enter. They don't have to, because if you enter the contest, we want you to post your before and after dailies. Like if we did the kitchen, let's see the before and let's see the after pictures. So that's one of the requirements to be qualified for the grand prize. So this way, we're helping our shoppers clean their homes. We're keeping ourselves relevant with our shoppers. We will have something to post every day about this challenge, and then we are making it fun. And then, hey, guess what? When they clean up their closet and they clean up their house, then they'll have more room to shop, right?
Yes, and I would just like to add, before you throw away the stuff, please consider donating to a charity, donating to a Goodwill, or I have a list of other charities that I donate to. Good Shepherd in Los Angeles is accepting donations for, say, small appliances and furnitures, because they are furnishing a couple more apartments for the victims of domestic violence. So
So
consider
great.
those.
Great that you share that. Send me those links and I'll add it to the landing page. So I actually created a landing page for this. I will share this information on my profile page. So just give me a few minutes and I'll share it on my profile page. You guys can enter as long as you're in the Los Angeles area, because we kind of just want to incentivize people that would actually in reality shop at South Bay Pavilion, because they'll have to pick up this prize at the mall curbside if needed. But yeah, I will share this on my page. If you want to join the 7-day declutter challenge, you're more than welcome to.
All right, and now hopefully, some of our viewers here would be interested to join as well too. So coming out of this, you'll have a clean home, you have an organized home, and you've helped the community, you help the people that are in need once you do this. So that's a great way to never relax, and that's a great way to be productive, and that's a great way to be still of help in this very, very challenging times that we are on right now. Thank you,
Yes.
Sweeney. Again, we'll do
Thank
it
you.
again. We'll let everybody know when we're going to do that. Tomorrow, join us again at 6 p.m. for the coronavirus update coming from our scientist friend, Evelyn Apostol. Thank you so much, guys, and see you soon. Thank you, Sweeney.
And don't forget to share this. They can watch the replay.
Yes, if you're on this, please share, share, share. They can still continue to watch the video. It will be available for them to watch, rewind, forward, everything. So that's a good thing about this app too, that they can do that. So if they want to slow down and take notes of something that we shared with them before, then they can definitely do that.
Thank you so much, Janice.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye,
guys. You
everyone.
have
Thank
a good
you.
day, and see you on your Zumba at 6 p.m.
In 30 minutes.
in 30 minutes. Okay, go dress up.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.